Hi friends, Glow here, and today we are talking about how I keep my shit together. Between work and school and stream and blog and YouTube and all of that, I have a lot going on, and it's really important just for how I work and how my brain works that I have some set routines and some schedules to go off of, because otherwise I will just either do absolutely nothing or I will get completely overwhelmed. So that is why I have these tools in place to help me do everything I need to do and not completely lose my mind. The tools that I use are primarily Trello, Google Calendar, and a planner, or just a notebook. Actually, I don't even use a planner. I literally use a little 5-star notebook as my planner. So basically all of that together, I use it for like daily planning, for content planning, for my actual like work schedule, everything like that. I also have a Google Sheet document that we're going to look into where I basically like laid out the template for my week. So it helps me kind of just see like the blueprint for like ideally in a world, like what I would be doing each day of the week. But again, that's really just a template. I just kind of use that as a resource. It's not actually part of my planning process. Something I set up initially and something I go back to now just when I'm planning my weeks. All right, guys, so the first thing we are going to be looking at is my weekly schedule template. So this is not a requirement for everybody, and it's not something that will work for everybody, but this is something with my weird neurodivergent brain that really helps me keep focused and make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. So essentially here I have, in a perfect week, this is what my week will look like. I will have my morning routine. I will have my time set aside for work. I work 8:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, so it's very easy for me to do that. And then I'll have my time set aside for my streams. As you can see, my D&D nights, when I need to do schoolwork, when I want to hang out with friends or work on art or anything like that. So I have these sections for like passion, clean, social. That's time I've set aside for cleaning. That's time I've set aside for working on my passions. And then that's time I've set aside for hanging out with my friends. I don't have to do all of these things in that time block. That is just what I have set aside at that particular moment in time. As far as passions go, I have my passion task listed up here. And basically I want to be able to cross off every single one of these at least once a week. So I am trying to get each of these things done at least one time a week. That is why you'll see so many passion blocks in my actual schedule. Now, when it comes down to this, I do have like videos and blogs. So my YouTube channel and my blog obviously are on deadlines that I set. And so I am typically going to be spending a little bit more time on those than I am saying on biking or working on my cosplays for DragonCon. But this is just the framework. This is the template. This is one of 3 tabs that is opened as soon as I open my browser. This is one of the ones that pops up. So I see it immediately when I start my day, and it's really easy to help me plan. And then we come to my calendar. So this is actually the very first tab that pops up when I open my browser. This is the screenshot that I use of my week and of my day. This is sort of how I get the baseline of what I want to do for the week and for that day. Again, very first thing that pops up as soon as I open my browser. I did that so I can make sure I am looking at it, I am seeing it, and basically it's in my face. I can't get away from it. So I recommend, if you can't follow a calendar, definitely use something like Google Calendar or another online calendar so you can do the same, set it as your first tab. So as soon as you go on the internet, it is the first thing you see. You'll notice my time blocks here in my calendar are basically identical to those ones that we saw in the weekly template. That's why the weekly template helps me. Basically, I set up my ideal week. And so now when I'm actually planning my days, it's really easy for me to do that. When it comes to my calendar, I do have mostly recurring tasks. So my morning routine, my work, my lunchtime, walking Rory, my stream, D&D, all of those are recurring tasks because they occur at the exact same time on the same exact days every single week. So those I can have going over and over and over again. And then you'll see I just add in everything else as it comes. So Rory had a visit to the vet to have his teeth cleaned. So I put that in here. Actually resulted in this stream being canceled. So that shouldn't be there. Then I was working on TikToks. I was working on blogs. I was working on emotes for my coffee page. All of that is stuff that I add when I'm planning the week. I do plan my week 1 week in advance. So I am going to be planning this Friday, actually right after this YouTube video goes live, for next week. So just to show you what a blank week looks like. These are all of my recurring tasks. I do have a few things in here that aren't recurring, such as drinks with coworkers. We did already schedule that, so I went ahead and put that on my calendar. Everything else is just those set recurring events. So these are the things that happen every single week. The rest of this is time that I can plan based on that weekly template that I have available. So Google Calendar is the screenshot of my weeks and days, and Trello is where I make it all happen. I love Trello. It is an incredible tool and it is free and super, super resource intensive. There's a lot you can do with it. I keep everything in Trello. I have recipes, I have notes for school, I have trip plans, possible moving plans. Everything I do is here in Trello. I have the most important things up here are my starred board, so my content calendar, my ongoing projects, and then my task management, which is what we're going to focus on today. So my task management board, everything in Trello, you can separate into boards. As you can see here, it uses the Kanban method. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but basically you just have things that you move along the line or just separate based on topic. I separate based on basically when I'm doing them. The two boards that I focus on mostly are going to be over here. So you have your boards and then you have cards within them. For due today, these are very specific tasks that I'm trying to accomplish today. They're not necessarily unique to today, but they are absolutely things that I need to check off my list today. Then I have my daily productive. These are all recurring tasks, and these are things that other people might not need to have on their checklist, like exercising, drinking enough water, taking a shower. But for me and my neurodivergent brain, it's very helpful to check them off just so I can make sure that I'm accomplishing everything that I need to do. Now, just like with the calendar and with the template, this is a guideline of sorts. I might not always get everything done, but that is the great thing about this. If I don't finish something in my due today, I can just keep it in my due today and move it to tomorrow, or I can move it over here to my on deck or my due soon and then adjust it as necessary. The thing with daily productive, so these are recurring, these happen every single day. So like, let's say for whatever reason, I don't make it to the gym today, I can go over here and I can just archive this card. So it throws it away. It just puts it into the ether. I don't have to worry about it again. It's going to pop up again tomorrow. I don't log it as me missing a day of exercise, of me missing a day of planning, of me missing a day of washing my face, etc. I'm not trying to punish myself for missing these tasks. I am just trying to remind myself to do them. If I don't do them, whatever. Everything else on here is basically like me planning the future. So I have my on deck, and this is essentially the stuff that I want to get done this week. This is what I'm really working on right now, and I know it's coming up soon. And so I need to figure it into my daily schedule eventually. So when I'm looking at my week on my Google Calendar, I'm checking out this on deck to see when I can fit them in. So like I had my Christmas presents right here. You can see, if you recall, on my Google Calendar, I had a section for finishing my Christmas shopping and wrapping everything. My next one, this one is a little special to me. This is my D8 home tasks. What does that mean? If you're a Dungeons and Dragons fan, you will recognize D8 as a dice, and that is exactly what it is. So my D8 home tasks, I really struggle with figuring out what I need to do that day. Do I need to vacuum today? Do I need to clean dishes? Like, what am I doing? And so then I get overwhelmed and sort of have that decision fatigue. So I just came up with a list of things for cleaning. It ended up being 8 tasks, which is how I came up with D8. So these are just things that I was doing every week. And now I just roll my D8 in the morning and I pick one. I am a little bit behind today because I did do laundry on Monday Tuesday rather, did laundry on Tuesday instead of a D8 task, but I'll either fit something else in another day, or maybe I'll just miss one this week, and it's not the end of the world. It keeps things exciting, and it's kind of fun to just roll my dice sometimes, you know? Next up is my do soon and do eventually. So do soon is stuff that I really want to get done this month. So on deck is this week, do soon is this month. So this is stuff that I'm really working on and really want to accomplish. So again, when I'm planning my weeks and my calendar and everything, I'm also considering this due soon, just looking back to see when things should be done. I try to keep due dates on everything, but as you can see, that doesn't always happen. Due eventually is just, this is the rest of it. This is either coming up in the future, it's really far out, so I still have some time, or it's stuff that I just haven't planned for yet. So I really need to clean my bedroom. So I want to do the KonMari method for that. I don't know when I'm going to have time for that. I'm going to try to plan it in, but it's not urgent, so I don't really care about it. I did already do some cleaning of my closet, so I want to sell some stuff on FB Marketplace. But again, right now I just have that stored. So until I'm actually ready to do that, it doesn't really matter. I'll get to this stuff when I get to this stuff. Everything else is a little bit more far out or already accomplished. So adulting, I need to get my real ID, which is the ID in the United States with the special little star on it. I still haven't gotten that because COVID happened. So I need to get on that. Then I move into my long-term goals. So I am taking UI UX classes, which is user interface, user experience. So that's there. And just other things like I have trips that I really want to plan, things to do. I really want to make merch for my channel and my blog. I have an iPad, but I'd love an iPad Pro, just stuff like that, like stuff that I'm going to be working on. Other things, maybe these are also sort of long-term goals, but I'm not sure if I want to do them yet. I have an idea for a tattoo, but I'm terrified of needles. So that one's, I'm like, should I even bother? Do I want to win a 5K? Stuff like that. And then I have my check this out. So this is where I put things that I want to read, I want to watch, and I want to play any games and stuff. So I can go in here, I can just open up my list and see what's going on. The final two over here, these are very specific, I think, to me. A lot of people don't need these. I like to just see everything that I've accomplished for the month. So every time I finish a task, I just go right here and I click move to I did it. So that way I know like, hey, this is how much I've done this month. If I feel like maybe I haven't accomplished that much, I look over here and I can see like, holy shit, look at all the stuff you did. That's awesome. So it kind of helps me like recenter myself and also hold myself accountable. And I really like that. It just makes me feel good about myself. I do have a task for me to actually empty this at the end of every month. And that's another recurring task. So these are just every single recurring task that I have on this board. I just like to have them here so they're easy to access. Anything that is going to show up somewhere else in this board also shows up right there. So that is how I use Trello for my general task management. I know it seems like a lot, but once you get into the flow of it and once you find something that works for you, it's really, really easy. So once we get beyond Trello, I use a planner, or as you can see in front of me, a notebook. I am actually in the process of developing a planner that fits my needs. I'm calling it my self-care planner. That will be available for free in my coffee when I am done designing it. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to have the same basic function as this, but work a little bit better and be a little bit prettier. So as you can see here, basically how I start out my day, obviously we have what day it is, and then I break it down by the hours. So these are essentially just those time blocks that I had in my Google Calendar, except sometimes I do loop things together. So like 12 o'clock is normally a work time block. I also added in just some small blocks here to work on my YouTube video and some social media stuff, doing walking Rory and working on YouTube stuff at the same time, everything like that. And then either as the day goes on or when I'm doing my end of day, like planning the next day, I just come here and make sure that I finished everything. If I didn't finish it, I will circle it. So I make sure that I add it to the next day. And then once we get down here, so I just like to take notes, like if I just have an idea or if I come up with something else that I need to do, I'll put it here. So if it's an idea, I do a little dash like that. And then if it's something that I want to add as like a to-do, I'll do a bullet. And so at the end of the day, if it's an idea, I'll just leave it there or I'll notate it in Trello. If it is a bullet, I definitely want to make sure that I put it into Trello. Once it's in Trello, that is when I cross it off. So that's what those little lines are for. And then, like I said, using the highlighter, just making sure that those tasks are done. So since those are actually done, that's why I highlight them. These aren't done. I've just moved them. That's why they're crossed off. And then what I do on this next page, you can see my plan for the next day. I actually journal on the back page. Sometimes I fill up a whole page. Sometimes I fill up half a page. I always make sure that I write something. I take 15 to 30 minutes every single day just to write a little bit. And that is going to be something that I also include in the self-care planner that I'm designing. But this is essentially everything step by step, how I keep my shit together. So those are all the tools that I use to keep my shit together and sort of how I use them. This is simply a guideline. This is not anything that is set in stone. If I need to change something, it is sort of a day by day, hour by hour, even minute by minute basis. So I am just doing my best that I can give at that time. My best today is going to look different from my best tomorrow. So if I'm in a really good mood today, I might plan a lot of things for the week. And then when it actually comes down to it, I'm not going to be able to get all of those things done because tomorrow I'm just not in that same mindset. I might be having some mental health struggles. So that's something to keep in mind anytime you're doing a schedule like this. Again, it's just a guideline. You do not have to do it exactly like this, and you can adjust as needed. Let me know if you found this helpful or if you have any questions about the tools listed or sort of how I use them to manage my life. And if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.